Good evening, folks. This is Mr. Twister, and today we're going to do a stream with a short stream with two games. First one is called Elder Sign Omens, and the second one is Train Valley. Was planning in turning this into a daily stream, but some illness has prevented me from continuing this stream the last few days. But we'll catch it up from here, starting with Elder Sign Omens. Elder Sign Omens is originally a board game. Yeah, a board game, can play it with friends. I personally played the mobile version, because this game is also available on iOS or Android. And this now is the Steam version, because the game is also available on Steam for 15 euros or dollars or your regional equivalent. The mobile version and the Steam version both have the same downside, and that is that you can only play this game in single player mode, which is a shame, because it would be a lot more fun if you could play it together with friends. But it's like that. It's still a great game, and today we're going to show you how it works. Going to start a new game, and we start by picking an ancient one. Basically, these are all different campaigns that you can play. If you have the mobile version, then you only get the first, I'm not sure, 3 or 4 campaigns, and the other ones can be purchased separately as DLC. When you buy the game on Steam, you get all the campaigns, but you pay about the same price, so it's included in the base package. This game is basically around rolling dice, so there is a lot of randomness involved. The random number generated may screw you over at times, and it's all about managing the odds in and turning them into your favor, which for a lot of people seems to be quite a challenge. And this game is not easy, especially at first when you still need to learn all the mechanics. The game can be pretty hard, but it is definitely not impossible, and I can tell you that I've already completed all the campaigns multiple times. I think except Itaqua. I'm not sure if I already have this campaign on mobile. For this stream today, we will not start with the lengthy, harder campaigns. We will pick someone around the middle. Let's start with Hastur, the King in Yellow. The King in Yellow is hidden in the museum. Otherworld adventurers have an extra doom penalty. So we pick our campaign, and then the game will want us to pick our 4 investigators that we will use to survive this. And we have a lot of choice here. There are a few locked, which we can unlock by completing some of the campaigns. And each of these investigators has a sanity stat, a health stat, a few starting items, and a special ability. And some of these are very, very useful. So it's a good idea to go through them and pick a good combination of investigators, which is key to success, I can assure you. I'm not going to go through all of the different characters, but this one, for instance, Jenny Barnes, is one of my favorites. Before conjuring glyphs, Jenny may discard a common item, spell, or clue to get the red and yellow glyphs. This is very powerful ability because the red and yellow glyphs give you a lot more options to successfully complete adventure. So Jenny will be my first investigator. The next one, have to think about this. Yeah, here she is. Kate Winthrop. Science. Monsters cannot appear during Kate's turn, which is quite useful. In addition, she is also immune to all the terror effects, and that's a very, very useful ability, as we will soon notice. Now let's go for number 3 and 4. No. What I also generally look for is a decent balance between sanity and stamina, because basically you will lose, or you may lose, some of both, and if one of these stats is already low to start with, you have a lot more possibilities to lose your character, and losing characters is obviously not good. Yeah. I like Sister Mary, but her stamina is pretty low. Still doubting here. I think I'll go for Amanda Sharp. Amanda may complete any number of tasks on her turn, which is useful if you have a really good dice roll and you have several tasks. You can complete several of them in one turn and don't waste the good dice that you just rolled. And we already have 3 females, so why don't we go for an all-female team? Not easy to choose. I think I'll go with this one. Marie Lambeau. She may, once per glyph conjure, she may spend 4 trophies. Trophies is something you earn from completing adventures. She may spend 4 trophies to change any glyph result to the result of her choice, which is very useful to complete an adventure. And then we can proceed to the museum. Yeah. Tension builds.
Something terrible has begun to awaken within our museum. A something unsatisfied by mere exhibition or human study. Writhing with ancient evil and terrible purpose. An entity that must, at all cost, be prevented access to our world. It's likely I will be branded as one unhinged for what I am about to do. From my studies, I am convinced such dangers are not new to the human experience. The very fact that humanity survives to this day, I attribute to our forebears' success in resisting the tormented realities beyond our own. Regrettably, such is not easy study. Among the rarities I have been fortunate
Well,
enough
thank
to
you for the
uncover,
compliment.
one particular emblem seems significant. A symbol of purported resistive faculty and considerable power. They called it the Elder Sign.
The Elder Sign. The King in Yellow. Rumor has it that the lost manuscript of The King in Yellow is hidden somewhere within the museum. You must find it before Hastur's minions do. Beware! Hastur's control over the other worlds have caused them to be more treacherous than normal. So here we are. We are now inside the museum. And you can notice that there are several adventures that we can attempt. If we click here, we can see that Hastur will appear when the Doom Tracker reaches 13. So we are currently at 0. When we progress in the game, the Doom Tracker will go up, and if it reaches 13 before we complete it, then we will lose. How do we win? Well, we can collect Elder Signs, and if we get enough Elder Signs before the Doom Tracker fills up, then we will win the game. Now, collecting Elder Signs can be achieved by completing adventures. So we have 6 adventures to start with. We always have 6 green dice that we can roll to complete an adventure. Additionally, some of the abilities and special items the investigators can use can also unlock an additional yellow die and an additional red die. Unfortunately, one of the adventures, and we can see it's this one over here, is currently locking the yellow die. So we cannot use the yellow die before we complete this adventure and remove the lock. What we also notice here is the moon symbol, which means this adventure has a midnight effect. At midnight, each investigator will lose 2 trophies. Now, that's not good, but it's not the end of the world either. When will we reach midnight? Well, we're just past midnight right now. 4 clock ticks and it will be midnight again. Since we start with 4 investigators, that means that in the beginning each investigator can attempt 1 adventure, and then we will have midnight. At midnight we will have a nightly mythos effect kicking in, depending on the effective campaign that we are playing. And the midnight effect from this one, the curator, will happen. So all investigators will lose 2 trophies. Now, if we attempt the adventure, we can see up front what the effect will be if we succeed. In this case, we will get 1 special item. We will get a I'm not sure how this is called. I think it's a common item. And we will get 1 Elder Sign, which is what we need to win the game. However, if we fail at this adventure, then the investigator who attempts it will lose 2 stamina, which is definitely not good news. Sanity, I'm sorry, 2 sanity. Now we could try this, for instance, with our investigator here, Jenny Barnes, who has 6 sanity. So she can afford to lose 2 sanity at this point. Now we also have these items that we can use. So you can see here, for instance, she has a common item, the Tommy gun, which allows to add a red and yellow glyph just for this adventure. She also has a heal, a spell item to heal 1 investigator's stamina to the maximum, which may be very useful later on. And as you can see, each of our investigators has some of these items. Okay, let's get started, and I think the best idea is to unlock this yellow glyph as soon as possible. Let's take a look first at the adventure in question. Ouch! This is a numbered adventure, which means that the tasks that are part of this adventure have to be completed in a certain order. So we have to do this one first, then that one, and then number 3. Moreover, the first 2 tasks have an effect. So whoever does this task will lose 1 sanity by completing it. So even if we succeed at this adventure, the investigator in question will lose 2 sanity. That's not very good news. Let's take a look at our abilities and see if one of our investigators may circumvent this. Definitely not Jenny. Amanda could be useful to do this task because she may do tasks in she may do multiple tasks in one turn. Yeah, and I think the other ones don't have anything in particular that is useful here. So let's attempt this one and get rid of the lock on the yellow glyph. So you see we don't have the yellow and red dice, we only have the 6 green ones. We could use her special ability to get the red and yellow die, but since the yellow one is locked, that would only give us the red one. I think we may be able to do it without. So let's give it a try. It is risky. And we get a 3. Yes. Unfortunately, she does lose 1 sanity right away. Next one. This is not so good because now we need 2 dice to actually complete this task. Now we have 3 dice left and we need a 4. Now I could use this and then we would get the red and yellow die on top of it. So the question is now, do we need it or do we take the risk rolling without the red and yellow dice? I think I'm gonna give it a try without it. If we fail the next roll, I need to discard 1 of the green dice. I will add the red and yellow die to give it another try. And we don't manage it. We need to discard 1 of the die. We cannot complete this task. We can keep 1 of them, but we still need a 2 or a 3 with the last die, which is very risky indeed. Now I don't want to have lost this 2 sanity for nothing, so I'm going to add the red and yellow die by using this common item. And of course, one thing I overlooked, I won't get the yellow die because it's still locked. It will only be unlocked once I complete this adventure. Let's keep the 2. Now, good thing to know is that the red die has somewhat better stats than the other ones. While the regular green die have 6 sides, they have the 1, 2 and 3 investigation points. We have lore, we have peril, and we have this one over here, which is terror. The red die doesn't have the terror glyph, but instead has one that you can use for anything, a wild card. So the red die is actually pretty powerful. And we made it! 2 and a 2. So we've got 2 glyphs, trophies, sorry, we got 2 trophies. We get 1 clue item and 1 blue. I'm not exactly sure what the blue was. Is it a spell? Amanda Sharp up next. So the adventure we just completed has disappeared, and we have a new one that replaces it. Okay, no more locked die, that's a good thing. Let's look at this one, the curator. It's a pretty hard one, because getting 3 lore here at the same time is not an easy thing to achieve. So we will have to make sure we have someone with a useful ability or item to actually succeed at this. Now getting a red or yellow glyph may actually make a difference. And if we succeed, we will get a clue and a common item. We will also get an elder sign, so it is worth a try. Let's go for it, and we're going to add the red glyph. And I'm not going to take too many risks, I'm even going to add a yellow glyph. Okay, we have one task that we can complete. And we reroll. Yes, excellent! We get a wild card on the red die, so I can choose lore here and complete this adventure. Excellent! We get an elder sign, we get 2 trophies, we get a clue, and we get another yellow die. Perfect, good start. And we're up to Kate Winthrop. Hi Kate. And you notice that again the timer continues. Now you also notice this symbol over here, these 2 adventures. They actually have a terror effect. What's the terror effect? If you roll the dice and your investigator is unable to complete one of the tasks, if you then rolled a terror glyph, your investigator will lose 1 trophy. As long as you are able to complete the task, this effect will not take place, but it's still something to consider. However, we have Kate Winthrop here, and she is immune to all the terror effects. So that's the reason, most important reason why I took Kate in my team. She has also 1 item to defeat a monster, and she has a spell that allows her to conjure, to lock one of the glyphs after conjuring. Now, which one of these 2 would be the most useful? This is a numbered event, would get us an elder sign, very useful. This one over here, if we fail, it means the doom tracker will go up. Let's look at the other one. Yeah, this one only gives us a clue, which is very small reward. So I'm going to give this one a try. We will need a lot of investigation glyphs. But we could use the spell to lock 1 glyph if we roll 2 high investigation glyphs. No yet red or yellow die, unfortunately. 2 and 1. Not that great. We will still need a lot of luck to complete this. Yeah, this is not going well. Nah, this is not going well. We will need a lot of luck. I'm going to discard 1 die. Normally another adventure would have lost 1 stamina due to the terror effect, but luckily she is immune. Now we need a lot of luck, because we need at least 2 die with 3 investigation and 1 die with 2 investigation. That would be very lucky indeed. Locking the 2 here is not that useful. Wow, we even came close, but not enough to actually complete this adventure. Yeah, it's become impossible now, so I'm just going to hit fail adventure, and the doom tracker goes up. Ouch. Now, failing adventures is something that will happen. It's something you can't avoid. The only thing is that you have to manage your risks and choose your adventures wisely, which investigators take on which adventures, in which order, so that you can minimize risk and achieve what you need to achieve. Get as many elder signs before the doom tracker fills. Marie Lambeau. Once per glyph conjurer, she may spend 4 trophies to change a glyph into any result. Very useful. Unfortunately, she doesn't have any trophies yet. She does have 3 items. We also have the entrance. And the entrance, you can also spend a turn to use some trophies to regain sanity or health, to buy an item in the lost and found, which is a spin of the wheel, so it will be randomized. You may even lose some stamina or health, stamina or sanity, sorry. And we can go to the souvenir shop and spend some trophies to buy items or even an elder sign. It's quite pricey, but this may actually be the difference between winning or losing the game. If you have 10 trophies, you can spend them to buy 1 elder sign. Okay, this adventure gives us an elder sign, but will also spawn a monster. Elder sign and 2 clues, which seems pretty useful. This over here means that an otherworld adventure will spawn. It's an additional adventure that you can go, which usually has quite a good reward. Elder sign and 2 items, 3 items, just a clue item. I think I'm gonna go with this mission over here. A terrible discovery. Are we going to use any of these? I don't think it will be necessary. And we can always reroll some dice or keep 1 die additionally when we reroll. So I'm not going to use the red and yellow glyphs and save them for later. Okay. That's 1 thing we achieved. Now here's a choice. I can just reroll my 4 dice. I need 2 lore. Or I could use this item to actually store 1 of the lores, which would give me 3 dice to roll 1 lore. It would increase my chances to complete this adventure, but it would use up this item, which could be useful later as well. So again, it's about balancing risk and reward. Now 4 die to actually complete this is normally enough. We could be unlucky. Okay, we got 1 lore. I'm going to discard 1 die, and I can then store 1 of the other die. I'm going to store the lore. So we need 1 lore with 2 dice. I think that's about 33% chance that we roll 1 lore on the next roll. Ouch! That's not good. But we still have a 16% chance with the last roll. Or I could just use the clue now to re-roll both dice and get another 33% chance. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And we will re-roll both of these dice. Ouch! We botched this again. Discarding one die. I could still go for the red and yellow dice at this point, and it may not be a bad idea because I only have a 16% chance to succeed this adventure now. If I fail, I will lose 2 sanity, and if I succeed, I will not only get the Elder Sign, but I will also get 2 clues. So I will have spent 2 items and I will have gotten 2 in return. So it's still not such a bad outcome. So yeah, let's use this item to get the red and yellow glyphs. Nope. And there we go. Mission accomplished. 2 trophies, 1 Elder Sign and 2 clue items. Wow, midnight. And the Mythos effect for tonight, the Doom tracker goes up by 2. And a monster appears. You can see it's over here. So this monster here will actually make this adventure somewhat harder. The difference is that if one of the adventurers defeats the monster but fails the adventure, the monster will still be gone. Let's see. Now let's not forget that Jenny has a very useful ability that allows her to discard a common spell or clue item to gain the red and yellow glyphs. Now she already has 2 spell items and 1 clue item. So usually I like to use her to get an adventure or to succeed at an adventure that at least gives her some of these items back, so she can continue to get the red and yellow glyphs on each adventure. I think this one was the last one added. Okay. We definitely want an adventure with a decent reward in items. This is a unique item, and she can't use unique items to get those glyphs, so she would only get a clue. Though this would get rid of the monster, and it would also open an otherworld adventure. So yeah, this seems like a good idea. We're going to use the clue item, because the other ones, restoring sanity and stamina, may still be useful later on. Okay. And let's start the adventure. The storage closets. It's 1 task completed. Unfortunately, we lose 1 sanity again. But she still has 3 sanity left, so still pretty safe. 4. This is going well. And 2 lore. Perfect! Success! And she gets one clue item, one, I'm not sure how they're called, I always forget the names. And we have an Otherworld adventure opening up. There we go. There we see the Otherworld adventure, as I mentioned, usually has a very positive reward, and you can see that we can actually gain 3 Elder Signs here by completing this Otherworld adventure. However, if we fail, it's also a very hefty price there. Doom Tracker goes up by 1, and we would lose 2 sanity and 2 stamina, so a very dangerous mission. It's also not an easy one, because if we it may deceive sometimes, but if we look at the second task here, we need to have these exact 4 glyphs together in the same role to actually complete this task. So this is very difficult to achieve, especially without items to help us as such. This one, on the other hand, is very easy. Note that we need twice 1 investigation point, so getting a 2 or a 3 is not good to complete this task. We need 2 different die to actually make it. As you can see, we already need 6 dice to actually complete this task, so we can't even fail a single one of them unless we have the red or yellow glyphs. Now let's see, could Amanda take on this task? No, I don't think she can. That would be a very big risk indeed. So let's look at the other adventures that she could attempt. No, not especially. This one would open up another Otherworld adventure, but also spawn a monster. I'm still tempted to do this one. This one could be interesting as well, because she can complete more than 1 task in the same turn, so she might actually be able to complete 2 tasks with 1 roll, and then that would be a pretty easy adventure. But the reward is not that great either, and yeah, it's still a risk. So I'm going to go for this one and try to get another Otherworld adventure and an Elder Sign. Let's not forget that, because that's what we ultimately need, Elder Signs. A secret gathering. Do we add a yellow die right away or not? I think I'm gonna try without additional dice, and we can always add the yellow die later if we think we need it. Perfect. 3 and 3. And 2 lore. That went very well. So we have 1 Elder Sign, 1 clue item, 2 trophies, an Otherworld adventure, but also a monster spawning. So quick check, we have 3 Elder Signs and 3 on the Doom Tracker. Things are still going relatively well here. Let's look at the monster. Ooh. Yeah, not that hard to achieve. And the Otherworld adventure. You got 2 Elder Signs. Yeah. This one is somewhat easier than the other Otherworld adventure, though the reward is a bit less. Still a very interesting mission here. Kate Winthrop. Monsters cannot appear during her turn, and she is immune to all terror effects. So all the more reason to actually make her do the missions that could spawn monsters or have terror effects. This one has a terror effect, but it's not a very useful adventure. This one would normally spawn a monster upon success, but not for Kate, so that's actually a good reason to make her attempt this adventure and get this Elder Sign. Yeah, let's do that. Does she have any items? She has one item to defeat a monster. She can also lock an additional glyph. That's something useful. You see, these numbered events, numbered adventures are an additional challenge because you really need to complete them in the right order. And I think that's the thing most people have difficulty with in the beginning, is that they underestimate some of the adventures because a combination or three or four glyphs at the same time is not as easy as it seems, and same with these numbered challenges. Now we could use this item to actually lock the barrel glyph. I don't think that's such a good way to handle this. No, let's reroll. That's not good. That was a very bad roll. Do we keep the 2? Yeah, then we still need 2 additional dice to actually get this 6. Because the highest we can get with a green glyph is 3. So, nope. Okay, this one is going to fail. That's very obvious now. Do I keep the barrel? Then I need to be very lucky to get twice 3 investigation. We still have this one though. No, I'm just going to re-roll it. And we fail. Yeah. Nothing we can do about it. She loses 1 sanity. It's not the end of the world. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop the stream for Elder Sign Omens. We'll probably be back tomorrow to continue this adventure. But I have a second game for tonight. Hope you enjoyed Elder Sign Omens. I think it's really a very enjoyable game. And the second game for tonight will be Train Valley. But we will have to wait a few moments because apparently Steam is just downloading an update for Train Valley. Exactly. What a coincidence. Well, nothing we can do about it. We'll just have to wait a few minutes till my Steam completes the download. So before we start the game, I can already explain briefly what it is about. Train Valley is a game where you have a few stations, colored stations, and you just need to build railroad tracks to connect them together and use switches to have all the trains arrive at the right station. Very simple mechanic. It's not a complex game. However, it is fun, it's very well executed, and well, it gets complex because of the different number of trains on the map at the same time, which starts to become pretty hectic later in the game. Still downloading. Yeah. 1 minute and then we can start the game. To update my Twitch to mention Train Valley. So people can actually find my stream when they are looking for this game. Well, would surprise me that people actually look for this game in particular, because it's not a very popular game. But that doesn't stop us from playing it. The most popular games aren't necessarily the best. There we go. Just updating my stream now. Yeah, webcam was gone. Refreshing again. There we go. Welcome to Train Valley. I already completed all of the levels in the game. Just pick one at random. You can see that there are two modes here at the top right, Classic and Sandbox. Classic is the regular game, Sandbox is without any money, you can just play a more relaxed game with no such pressure as you have in the Classic variant. But the pressure is good, it's part of the fun. And I pick a mission at random. Mission objectives: build 80 or more track tiles, dispatch at least 8 additional trains, and avoid train crashes. Now we can pause the game at any time using spacebar, and you can see we can also accelerate the game speed to double speed or quadruple speed. Yeah. Now there are 3 modes here with shortcuts for each. We are currently in switch mode, we also have build mode, and we have demolish mode. So the first thing we will need to do, I have to check my volumes here. I think the music is a bit too loud. There you go. That should be better. Oops. So we will go to build mode, and in build mode we can connect these stations. We have 3 stations to start with: red one, orange and grey. So we can lay out tiles and you can see the price appears on top. As long as we just build tracks, the price will be relatively low. If we move over an item like here, the price will be more expensive. Say that we would remove this house over here, the price would be a lot higher. Now, we definitely don't need to do that, so we will just connect both stations this way. Now, we still need to connect the red station as well. So we'll go like this, and we'll also make a connection this way. And you see that automatically the game will add switches. So now we can actually use these switches to determine which directions our trains will be heading. Let's unpause the game. You see that the tracks will now be added. There you go. Perfect. Let's pause again, and we can see here that our first train is ready to depart. So in this orange station we now have one train, and this destination is the red station. Now at the top left here we can also see our current cash position, $21,000, and the annual tax rate. So every year we will have to pay $1,500 of taxes. If we go bankrupt, we lose the game. How do we earn money? By getting trains to their destination as soon as possible. You can see here, although it's relatively small, the train that is waiting over here currently has a value of $5,200. The longer we wait, the price will go down. So the actual reward for getting the train in the destination station will go down the longer it takes us. Now we only have one train waiting at the moment, so let's get it started. Unpause the game, and you can see the price for the red train is going down. Now we can already call an additional train, and we can get started and go to the orange station. Even speed it up a little. And we have a third train, but this one still needs to wait, because we don't want any crashes. Okay, this can get started. We change the switch so it goes to the gray station. And here we have another one waiting. Now it's about timing as well. The train starting off in this station still needs to get up to full speed, while the other one was already at full speed. Now what we can also do is to click this train and make it pause so it will stand in place, and we can put it back into motion or even turn it around. As you see, this is where the fun begins. We get another station, the yellow one. Now one mistake a beginning player will usually make, I found myself making that mistake more than once, is to lay down too many tracks at once. Because you are on a budget, you really need to consider which tracks you really need to continue playing, and don't build too many tracks right away. Otherwise, you may go bankrupt and lose the game. Now so far you can see that the game is relatively easy, but when we get more stations and smaller maps and obstructions and more trains at once, things can go quite hectic very, very quickly. And we have a blue station in the meantime. Oops! I made a mistake there. I already launched the red train coming out of the orange station, while this train is heading for the orange station. Fortunately, this train is not yet at the switch, so I changed the switch here. So this train will move past. I'll pause this one. Okay, I'll pause this one. We will let this train go past. And I forgot the switch. You can see how easily things can go wrong here. This is still not even that difficult. Okay, we turn this train round. The yellow train will go well. This one needs to go a little further. And we can turn it around to go to the orange station. Perfect. And we'll make an additional connection over here. There we go. And then we can make the grey train take a different route towards the grey station. Perfect. No, that's not going to work. So there you see, we have a train going and there is no route to the station. Oh yeah, we can go from the top. The fun thing is you can actually build tracks while your train is already underway. Now we're still at double speed as well, because I already have some experience with this game. I'm already getting used to it. And I think that's the last train for this level. Mission accomplished! Well, we didn't do the 3 objectives though. We completed the level without going bankrupt. We managed to build 80 or more track tiles. We didn't have any train crashes, but I didn't dispatch at least 8 additional trains. Okay, let's take a more difficult one. And then I'll close the stream for today. Mission objectives: build 100 or more track tiles, dispatch at least 10 additional trains and avoid train crashes. There we go. And we immediately get a fourth station here. Now I'm going to be careful with building tracks because we only have $25,000 and an annual tax of $2,500. So unless I get an extra train that has to go to the orange station, I will wait to build the connection to that station. Okay, that's easy. From blue to gray is very nearby. That's awesome. And there we get, we have in the orange station a train that needs to go to blue, and in the purple station a train that needs to go to orange. So we'll have to make the connection now. There we go. We'll have this one take off, and we'll have this one take off. Now this is one game where failure can actually be fun. Having trains crash into each other or even into themselves can be really fun to watch. Meanwhile, we get another station over here, the red station. I'm going a bit faster with calling in additional trains. Oops! Cash position! I think I'm gonna make it. This train will be there pretty soon. And this one as well. It's only a short route. And now we have enough cash again to be safe again. Yeah. More trains, please. And we have the green station popping up. I'm gonna hold off building there because we don't need a connection yet. Yeah, now we do. But I also have one that has to head to the purple station, so I'll get this one started first. And call in an additional train. So as you can see, a very simple game, but so well executed and actually fun to play. Going to speed things up a little. Ooh. That would have been a crash if we hadn't stopped that train. And we have another station over here, the blue one. You can see that this game is from a later level. The difficulty definitely goes up. And we get another station, the yellow station. Awesome. You can see how things can become hectic quite fast here. This one to red. And we need to build only a few more track tiles to complete our 3 objectives. And this is always cool if you have multiple tracks connecting stations, so you can have trains going in different directions at the same time. Oops. This one is not going where it should go. Now, for the fun of it, we will show what happens when a train arrives in the wrong station. It just comes back out. So here it's not an issue. Some missions you have an objective where a train cannot arrive in the wrong station, but on this map it's not one of the objectives, so there's nothing wrong with actually going to a wrong station and then heading back. It will take us longer, it will get us less money, and it may cause crashes if you have too many trains going to the wrong stations. There is a higher risk of getting crashes, of course. But besides that, there's not really a downside to it. Stop this one over here. Ooh, it was going wrong anyway. And I think we're at the end of the level. Awesome! And we've completed all 3 objectives. Yay! Well, that was Train Valley, folks. This was Mr. Twister. Enjoy your evening or night, wherever you are in the world. See you around.